Once upon a time, a long time ago, or it could have been just yesterday, there lived a man and his wife. They were getting very old, and they had no children of their own. And they were sad, and they thought, who will look after us when we grow old? Who will bury us when we're ready to die? The wife said to her husband, "Go along to the forest, my dear, and fetch me a little branch, a little twig, and make it fine and smooth, and shape a cradle for it. And I will put that little twig in the cradle, and I will rock it, and that will be my great joy." At first, the husband did not want to go, but his wife begged. And so, in the end, he agreed, and off he went into the forest. He found a little twig and he made a cradle for it. And he brought it to the old woman. And oh, how happy she was. She took that twig and she fastened it into a little twig baby. And it gave her great joy when she put him in the cradle. And then she began to sing. Sleep, my baby, soo, soo, soo. I shall make some soup for you. I shall make a little stew. Sleep, my baby, soo, soo, soo. Sleep, my baby, soo, soo, soo. Sun and moon may shine on you. Glittering stars are shining bright, guarding you all through the night. She rocked that cradle all evening. But when it was time for them to go to bed, she did not want her little twig baby to get cold. So she gathered a blanket and she covered her baby. And then she and the old man went to sleep. The next morning, when they awoke, they were eager to see their little stick baby. And when the old mother opened up the blanket, there was a little boy. A tiny, tiny little boy there in the cradle. And oh, how happy the old ones were. They finally had a little child of their own. And he was so tiny, they named him Twiggy. And they just could not stop staring at him. He was just so dear. Well, Twiggy grew, and over time, he spoke to his father and he said, "Dear father, could you make me a silver boat so that I could go and fish in the stream and thereby nourish you and mother?" The old man agreed, and so he fashioned a boat for his son. And when it was done, the old man pushed it all the way to the stream. What a fine little boat it was. And Twiggy was so excited. When at last they came to the stream and the boat was in the water, how happy Twiggy was. And he sang, "Rowing in my little boat, on the shining waves afloat, catching fish for water clear, for my parents old and dear. And his mother said, "Now, Twiggy, listen to me. Whenever I call you, come to the bank with your boat. But should you hear a stranger call, keep on rowing." And this Twiggy agreed to do. The old man and his wife knew that Twiggy would be hungry soon. So they went back to their little home. And his mother worked to prepare a fine lunch for her son. She put it in a basket. And then back she went to the water's edge. When she arrived, she called out, "Come to the bank, my Twiggy dear. Come, for dinner time is here." And Twiggy heard her call, and he said, "Swim, little boat, swim to the bank, for Mother has brought my midday meal." How happy his mother was to see that he had come back. And she gave him a hug, and he ate his lunch, and then he hopped right back in the boat so that he could sail on some more. The old mother returned home to wait for her son's return. And it happened on this day that someone else was watching while Twiggy and his mother were on the bank. It was a snake. And the snake called out in her deep voice, "Come to the bank, my Twiggy dear. Come, for dinner time is here." And Twiggy heard the call, but he said, "Swim on, little boat, swim on, for that is not my mother's voice." And off he went. This made the snake very angry, and she slithered her way to the blacksmith. And she said, "Blacksmith, take your hammer and make my voice as fine as Twiggy's mother." And this the blacksmith did. And then the snake went back to the water and called out with her new voice, "Come to the bank, my Twiggy dear. Come, for dinner time is here." Twiggy heard that call, and he said, "Swim, little boat, swim to the bank, for Mother has brought my dinner." But when Twiggy arrived to the bank, the snake snatched Twiggy out of the boat and meant to eat him up, but Twiggy was very fast, and he scampered up a nearby tree. The snake chewed and chewed at that tree, hoping that she could break it with her strong teeth. She gnawed and gnawed and gnawed, and Twiggy thought for sure that he was a goner, when suddenly a flock of geese came by, and Twiggy called out, "Geese, so help me please, I pray, quickly carry me away, through the storms and through the clouds, safe into my mother's house." But the geese only honked, and they said, "Let the last one carry you." And off they flew. The snake was getting closer, and Twiggy was worried that all was lost. when suddenly the last goose came flying by. And Twiggy called out, "Help me, gentle goose, I pray. Quickly carry me away. See the snake I fear and dread, creeping near to bite me dead." And that goose let Twiggy climb right on her back. And just as the snake was trying to get them, the goose was able to fly away so that they were safe and no one was harmed. The goose brought Twiggy right back to the fence by his home. And she rested her weary wings. From where Twiggy sat, he could hear everything that happened in the house. And he could hear his mother say, "Oh, old man, here's a cookie that I've made for you, and one for me too." And Twiggy called out, "But what about me?" "Ah, someone else wants a cookie," they said. And the old man and his wife came out, and there they saw their boy. How happy they were to see him again. And then the old woman looked, and she saw the goose. And she said, "Ooh, what a splendid goose! I will roast it, and we'll have it for our meal." "Oh no, dear mother, oh no," said Twiggy. "Rather you should give that goose some food and water, for if it was not for that goose, I would not be here with you today." And Twiggy told them all about the snake and how the goose had rescued him and brought him home. And so the old woman brought food and water for the goose. And when the goose had rested and eaten her fill, off she flew to join the rest of her flock. And as for Twiggy and his mother and his father, well, they lived happily together. And Twiggy often went fishing in his silver boat. But he had learned a lesson, and never again would he listen to a false voice. Snip, snap, snout. This tale has been told out.